Kids can't even be kids anymore, man. They gotta think like adults, or they could be canceled on the internet.
Don't it seem like
Yeah, man. So I'm talking about this this clip I ran into via Abba and Preach on YouTube, and I wanted to delve into this. So Jubilee, which is a trash channel, but they try to do these like middle ground things where they get people who have two diametrically opposing views to sit down and try to have a conversation about things, but they edit it, and you know, I like to see the raw footage of it, but just a lot of the times the conversations just go, they're not productive, they're not fruitful in my eyes, and they're just, some of the points that are being made are just silly from some people. So but they're entitled to them, they're entitled to their opinion. But today, this one that caught my eye is middle school boys versus girls. Are boys stronger than girls, right? So let's just start with the base set of facts, right? Biologically, this is a fact. This is a fact, okay? This is a fact, people, what I'm about to tell you. Biologically, on average, men, not even on average, biologically, men have a physical, stronger in a physical way, have a physical advantage, okay? That is a fact, people. As much as we want to deny it, as much as we don't like it, as much as it doesn't jive with our feelings, it's just a fact, okay? Let's start with that base fact. Women, that's not to say women aren't strong, right? I saw my wife give birth to a baby. I couldn't do that. Women are strong in their own right. But when we're talking about something that's physical, such as sports or athletics or competition, boys and men have testosterone, which allows us to do things that women cannot. It's just that simple, people. Whether you agree or disagree, and this is why there are separate things for men and women. This is why there's a men's division and there's a women's division in sports. You know, this is the reason. It's not to say that women can't come in and compete with men. There might even be some women. I've seen a woman beat a man in MMA. I mean, now he was like 400 pounds, and she was fit and in shape, and she gave him the business. Listen, that doesn't. Those are the exceptions, okay? They're not the rule. There are always exceptions, but it doesn't make it the rule. Great exceptions, right? He was trash talking her. She beat the mess out of him, and I was on board with that. But that's the exception. It isn't the rule. Okay, so let's stick by that. So right now I'm gonna play one segment, the boys are stronger than girls segment. Okay, and you guys can let me know what you think about that segment. Get in the live chat too. Start talking about what you think about that segment now, and I'm gonna come back and get my thoughts. So let's check out this segment.
Are stronger than girls.
Well, physically, like, for the most part, in gender roles and stuff like that, boys are just supposed to be stronger. That's just a thing that happens. They work out at the gym, and yeah, girls certainly can work out too if they want. But again, it's more common for boys.
Can I disagree or step forward?
Who's one to say what gender, depends, who's stronger? It doesn't matter what gender you are, it matters who you are. It doesn't matter what you were born, it matters what you want to be.
You could be referring to strength in so many ways, like physically, emotionally, where the strength in your body is placed, it all just depends, and there's just so many factors that go into it.
I play volleyball, and sometimes we play the boys teams, and we've crushed them a couple times, and it feels so good, So I don't agree with that.
I think getting rid of these preconceived notions that boys go to gyms, girls stay at home. One of my best friends is a girl, and she's stronger than half the guys.
Yeah, man. So these kids are not old enough to know that they're wrong. Okay, first of all, some of them have not hit puberty yet, right? And that's the real difference. When that puberty kicks into your body, and men and them shoulders and their center of gravity, and you start getting that testosterone flowing through you. That is the difference, right? That has not happened for some of them yet, right? So we're not living in the facts-based world. Second, why? Okay, why is a child? These sound like talking points. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest here. These sound like talking points that were given to these children. Why is the girl saying it doesn't matter what gender you were assigned at birth? It just matters what gender you want to be. Okay, what does that have to do with whether or not boys are stronger than girls? It has nothing to do with anything. It just sounds like, here's a talking point, child, say it. Right? Why are we focused on this with children? Why does it matter what they think about this? You know, I guarantee you, they probably didn't care about this, and this wasn't a subject they discussed in school until they were brought on this show. How many people want to bet me that? Why? This conversation, are boys stronger than girls? I would love to have doctors. Let's get some doctors up there, and let's have them debate and discuss the science behind it. Even though, again, it's factual, especially once you hit puberty. Which some of them have not done yet. Some of them might have hit puberty already. I know I was an early bloomer. I think I was 10. But some of them have not hit that stage yet. And so they don't know what they're talking about. And again, the girl, I'm forgetting her name. I'm blanking her name. I think it's Sunalia. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. She's like, oh, well, I don't agree with that because we beat a couple boys teams at volleyball. Again, the exception, not the rule. And it made me feel good. You should feel good. Winning feels good in general. I can tell you that. As a football coach, when I win, boy, does it feel good. Makes you want to go celebrate, have a good time. Winning, I'm there with you, Sonalia. Winning sure does feel good. Let's get into the next segment of this.
I am old enough to date.
Obviously more of like figuring yourself out comes in later years, but I feel like these relationships really shape how you feel about relationships in the future, and it's important to have them.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that it begins to become different when you get into like the sexual aspects of a relationship and dating. I think that this age, you don't know enough about yourself as a person at this age to give consent correctly and to understand like this is a powerful moment. And I think that like at age 12, it can be kind of hard to grasp that.
You guys can date. I'm me, you're not me, so I personally would never date, but you guys do your thing. It's like, it's your jazz, not mine, so.
I think there's just a lot more to life before you have to slow down. Like, I want to ride my bike in the middle of the street and then binge eat popsicles and watch my favorite TV show before I have to slow down, which I have 7 more years before I'm officially an adult. So I think I want to experience life before I stop all that.
I think when we talk about dating, it's like we're going through so much physiological change. Our mental state is just so fragile and like insane at this age that like dating, to me, like the risk just outweighs the reward, and like Gen Z's, all of our experiences are getting moved up by like 5 years. I think I can hold out like a few more years. Like, I don't think I need to like rush anything.
And then I think at this age, we're more prone to, like getting upset over a smaller thing than what we would be when we're older. And then I also think if like, someone at our age is gonna date, it should be something, light and fun, not anything serious.
I feel like dating is more like emotionally focused at our age, and then being like sexually active while dating is like a whole other topic.
Well, like both people should be present and aware and almost like constantly aware of how they're feeling with one another in order for it to be a safe, healthy relationship.
Well, I mean, either way, if you were to date, like even in the middle of like, for example, middle school, most of the time it wouldn't work out. So there's no reason to like purposely like do everything you can to uphold it. Either way, you know it's not really gonna work. It's just a good experience to start yourself and prepare for the future.
All right, so me and Hanadia, I think it is, and Sahalia, we here. First of all, why are we at Jubilee clowns? Why are we asking middle school kids about dating? It's not to say that kids their age don't date. I remember I was in middle school and there were people dating in middle school, right? But as adults, right, you know, yes, you should have this conversation with your kids, and you have the right to tell your kids to do whatever it is you want them to do. But why are random strangers asking your kids, are they old enough to date? And why is it going on the internet? Why are we having this conversation with middle school boys and girls? Let's start off with the two people who said they were old enough to date. First of all, you don't even know anything about dating. You don't know enough about yourself to know what you like in a person, right? What they were trying to skirt around, and they tried to do a beautiful job of it, is like, no, we're not old enough to have sex, basically, is what they were saying, right? But we're old enough to date. What do you know about yourself? How much do you know about yourself that you can know what you like in other people at 11 or 12 years old? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You do not know enough about yourself to know that. The only thing that you know about a middle school boy or a middle school girl, which was most of this was like, was attractiveness. They look good to you. That's it. That's superficial. It's not going to make a relationship last. You don't need to be dating. And this is why I'm with Hanadia. Be a kid. You are a child. What are you worried about that for? She's like, I want to ride my bike in the middle of the street. I'm with you, girl. I want to do this. I want to do that. She wants to be a child. And Kobe touched on this, even though I disagree with him on the last topic, to where he was coming from, but he kind of hit this a little bit. He touched on this, right? What are you in a rush for? The kids' developments are being sped up now because people want them to engage, I guess, in society earlier, right? So their developments are being sped up. Why are you in a rush to be an adult? My grandmother and my mother used to tell me this all the time. Enjoy being a child. Enjoy being a child because you get this much time to be a child and you have this much time to be an adult. Listen to me. All the kids that were in this video, all the kids that are out there now, and if you're watching this, be a child. Be a child for as long as you possibly can. Be a kid. Because when you become an adult and the bills hit and things in relationships don't work out the way you think, what do you need to experience for in middle school? You don't need to experience anything. Friendships, relationship development can come through friendships. You don't need to be dating someone. What are you doing in the dating if it's not physical, like you say, you two, who said you're old enough to date? What are you doing? Holding hands, kissing? Are you talking? Friends talk all the time. You can be friends with someone and have a conversation with them. What makes what you think is a relationship, dating, different than a friendship? This is why children should not be having this conversation. What makes it different is the things that you do, right? There is the things that you do in the way you connect, right? You can have a deep emotional connection with a friend. You can have a deep emotional connection with a family member. That connection is different because there's a physical layer that is on top of a relationship, a deeper spiritual layer that is on top of a relationship for those of you who are Christians, right? That's the separation between friends and dating, right? That is the separation. Children don't know that. They don't know that. They don't know enough about themselves to know that. They don't know enough about themselves to date anyone. So stop trying. It's okay to be friends with people, but you don't need to be kissing and holding hands. What do you need that experience for? What is that going to do for you? How is that going to make you better in the future? It's not. It's not. So, no, you're not old enough to date. You shouldn't even be thinking about dating. Shout out to my girl, Hannah D, and I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, for wanting to be a kid. Shout out to you. And Sahalia, you too. You was on point too. So, yeah. That's all I got to say about this video. I'm not going to do the whole thing. Those two things just piqued me off and I wanted to talk about them. But let these kids be kids, man. Just let them be children. And Jubilee, this was stupid. Please don't ever do this again. And stop asking them, are they old enough to date? No, they're not old enough to date. They might. I'm looking right here. They might got some more topics here. I feel like I understand my sexual orientation. Okay, I'm gonna do another video on this when I get back. We gonna touch that. I feel like I understood my sexual orientation thing when we get back. We gonna touch that too. But yeah, I just let kids be kids, man. That's all I gotta say. I'll be back when I'm ready to run my mouth.